There are times when I'm watching Caleb Williams where it's just not on time. It's just not on time. It's not on rhythm. It's clearly not what Ben Johnson's plan is going into that week.
Truth be told, I expected a little bit more out of our squad to counter that.
If we're talking about complimentary football,
it's our first game in a while, really all season that we didn't have a takeaway.
I guarantee Ben Johnson wants to dink and dunk right now. I guarantee he's trying to get these 4, 7, 8, 5, 7 yard, like all these plays from his quarterback that he's just not getting right now. Because Caleb Williams hovers around 60% completion, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. The shoe will drop really fucking hard. The Ravens, if they stop the run game in any way, shape, or form, or don't turn the ball over,
really all season that we didn't have a takeaway.
The only script that you have to win that game against the Ravens is Caleb Williams needs to have his first 350-yard, 3-touchdown performance. And at this point, I keep waiting for it against worse teams. It's not going to happen against the best teams.
I know they understand how important it is that we play cleaner as a team.
We're in week 8, and at some point soon, and that's kind of the thing. We're tick-tock.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. It's always interesting when I could take commentary from the episode we did before the game and just apply it with the game's highlights, and it matches up. And so I want to start off by saying this, that we had an interesting conversation last week. And David, I was with you on the overall topic. I think where our differences was in the confidence moving forward. I still felt like this thing still will get right. And I think your confidence was a lot lower than mine. I don't want to speak for you, but I think that's where we kind of deferred. But I agreed with you about the situation we're in at hand. And one of the things that I really enjoy about our conversations is the reason why we started the podcast and started doing this is because throughout the years, we've always remembered our opinions in the moment, right? We're not like some channels where we sit there and pitch these titles and then never mention it again. Carl, I'll give you an example. Shorty wanted Josh McDaniels as a head coach. That's never talked about again. After a week or two after that episode, it was a bad idea, whatever.
Clarification is: are you talking about Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator of the Patriots, or Josh McCown, the quarterbacks coach of the Vikings?
There was a BCP episode where Shorty was making a case for Josh McDaniels.
The offensive coordinator for the Patriots.
Yes. So
it's like borderline asinine.
Whatever. No, yeah, whatever. And he knew it.
I mean, he's
right?
had 2 failure head coaching opportunities, one of the worst historical head coaches of all time.
Ironically, that would be akin to grafting on a tumor, like what you did today with your most latest transaction. I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, though, we make an opinion, and then I think, David, after time, we go back and we reevaluate that opinion. And we look at whether we were right, whether we were wrong. And there's times where I've talked to you and been like, you know what, David, I was wrong, and you were right about that. David, there's times you've talked to me, and you're like, you were right, and I was wrong about that. And I think that's what makes our conversations kind of interesting a little bit and give it life. And so last week, I started off the show right away with that exact thing. Guys, I was wrong. I predicted 6 wins. There's no way that's how low this team will sink. We're looking at 7, 8, or 9 wins, right? And you just own it. David, you were spot on last week. And people hated it. People hate the conversation. They went back and forth with you in chat, and you couldn't have been more right. And it's funny because I've watched this play out, and now it's still kind of like the same excuse.
That's my score prediction.
That was David's score prediction, yeah.
That was the top is the real, and that was my score prediction.
Right, 31-2. Exactly. So, now it's funny because it's like the same conversations I heard last week. They're just repeating. The people are still telling me the same thing, and it's like, well, wait a second. We talked about it. The results are the results. Literally the only excuse left this time. That is the only one left. And I wanted to go ahead and start off the show by showing everybody this is why that's a bad excuse. It's actually counterintuitive to what actually happens. Time,
Correct.
you don't have time on your side. Time is against
No one
you
does.
in this situation. So if we take a look, this is just a list I found, and I think the guy initially split it up as who he thought was a good quarterback and bad quarterback. But whatever, regardless, they're all first round quarterbacks. I believe it goes to 2013. Now, except for the top two. And I wanted to put the top two there for a reason. You have some situations like Kirk Cousins, where he was a fourth round pick. Fourth round picks do not get a fifth year option, right? So you have the 4-year deal. Starter went down, RG3. He wound up coming in. After his fourth year, they franchise tagged him for a fifth. They franchise tagged him for a sixth, right? That's a weird situation. Dak Prescott, same thing, a fourth round pick. He played well. After the rookie deal was up, franchise tagged for a year and then signed for 4 years, right? Now, so that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about first round drafted quarterbacks that have a fifth year option available, quarterbacks like our quarterback, Caleb Williams. So I kind of tried to color code this a little bit. And what I found is this guy's list of who he thinks is good and bad, it really lines up with, well, who got signed and who got cut. Who outlasted the rookie deal on the team that drafted him and who didn't. And like, dude, Jared Goff was a rookie in 2016, signed a 4-year deal in 2019. Now, we all know he got traded eventually. Still, at the time, he made a Super Bowl with the team. Like, that's the type of level of performance he had in order to earn that deal. Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year deal after year 3. Baker Mayfield was traded after year 3, right? Josh Allen, 6-year deal. In 2021, he signed that. So after his 3rd year, before the start of his 4th. Lamar Jackson, he signed after his 4th year. Kyler Murray played well enough to, after his 3rd year, get a deal. Joe Burrow signed a 5-year extension after his 3rd year, right? Tua and Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, those guys went the same way, but they're obviously not at the level of like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. But these guys all share a thing. Like a 5th-year option is an insult to those guys. They're not. Lamar wasn't going to play on a 5th-year option, right? Like you want the deal redone. Ideally, you want them to play well enough to where it's redone after year 3, before year 4. By the way, you have to make the decision on the 5th-year option after year 3. The guys that whose 5th year were picked up, like Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, wound up just getting cut after that 5th year. Mitch Trubisky declined 5th year. Otherwise, you're getting like cut or you're getting traded. Guys, these are first round picks from the last 15 years. I mean, so what we're talking about is we need Caleb. We need more like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and not the other way around. Time is not in your favor. You need this guy to perform. The timeline is by the end of next year, period. Like you have to know. And this was a huge missed opportunity. I don't know. I know I rambled on for almost 10 minutes there, but guys, I want to get all that out there because, yeah, it's bugging me. And
I mean,
David, is this where you're at with this guy? Because I'm not there, and I'll argue against that, but
I don't know if I'm there yet. It's creeping. It's like creeping up closer and closer every week. I'm not there yet. What are we, week 9? I think by week 12, if it's the same shit, you have to. I think you have to. And also, the winning and losing is such a fucking, it's so funny, dude. Can I say this shit real quick? Because it's just gonna end up getting thrown in our faces at some point when all you and I talk about is like winning and losing and quarterback stats. And is it when Justin Fields was playing amazing and rushing for 1,100 yards, but he went 3 wins and everybody was like, but he's playing well. It's not his fault. It's the rest of the team's fault. And then when the fucking Bears have like the greatest 4 weeks ever from like a defense in the last 5 years, and then their special teams plays well and their running game plays well, and everybody's like, Caleb's doing just enough. Okay, can you guys relax? And it's not, dude. Yeah, but the quarterback position is not performing up to par with the rest of the team. So it's just always a moving goalpost based on how you're feeling about it, and we don't care. We've said this 100 times. We'll say it 100 more. We're Bears fans, and we're not tied to Justin Fields. We're not tied to Caleb Williams. We're tied to the next guy who's going to make this team fucking better. So I don't give a fuck about, like, I do care about the wins and the losses. It's nice to win, but more for what you said, Paul, like for Ben Johnson rather than Caleb Williams. It's important for Ben Johnson to kind of figure out some shit. But I do genuinely think Ben Johnson might be better off with a different quarterback. I think he would be put in better positions. I don't know if Bajan's the answer. I said this last week too. I don't think Bajan's the answer. He probably isn't. But there are some things, and I don't want to preface this as a Caleb fucking hater. I'm not a Caleb hater. It's just that I'm going to be consistent about my points, which is there has to be a leash on this guy. You can't just keep throwing your head into a brick wall and hoping something eventually sticks. And all you're doing is just hurting the quarterback and the coach and the rest of the team. So it's like, I think there is a benefit to benching him right now. If his issue is prep time, which I think it is, because his best game of the season, in my opinion, was the Washington game when he had the most amount of prep time. Like I think the guy he's good at being he's good at football. He might not be good at being a quarterback, if that makes sense. He's not a quarterback. He's just not like a game managing time, like pocket present, football aware quarterback. So what I think he could learn from a benching is like throw Bajan out there for 2-3 games, potentially. Show him what it looks like when a play isn't there and you hit the dump off. Like, what does it look like when a player who's not as physically gifted as you? This is another one of those Justin Fields scenarios where when you panic in athletics, when you panic in sports, what do? You depend on your physical ability, right? What you're good at. And he's magic out of the pocket. He can fucking throw on the run like a demon. But when you're limited physically, what do? You rely on your brain. So when you're physically limited, you have to play smart, play in rhythm, play routines, play on time. And if you can put both together, you're physically gifted, but do also the simple shit right, you get Patrick Mahomes. You get Lamar Jackson. You get shit like that. You get guys who are smart, but also relying on their physical ability. I don't think Caleb's there. Let him see what this is supposed to look like. I think there's a benefit to benching him eventually if he doesn't figure it the fuck out. And I say that still wanting, if you play Tyson Bagent 4 games this season at the end, I still want Caleb Williams to start next year. I think it would be beneficial to him. I think taking some time off and having another season to really understand this shit without the pressures of performing also might be beneficial to the guy. So I say this in help of him.
You said at the end though, right? So you're not saying now, you're saying at the end of the season. Because that's going to be my counter argument here, David. Because it's like, no. The Steelers were 4-2 when they benched Justin Fields. But what do they have to lose? A 6th-round draft?
No. I don't say that because I don't want it to happen. I still think he's earned, honestly, if it was my pure opinion of what to do with this team, you get this game and this game only. If you can't step it the fuck up against the Bengals this game, you get benched. You haven't figured it out. But what we've said, and we're going to be consistent, is he's played just well enough at this point in this year that the entire NFL is like confused on the progress of this guy. Some people say he's progressing week to week. Some people say he's not progressing fast enough. Some people say he's taking a step back or a lateral step. Some people, like, you go watch 100 different fucking former quarterbacks do film analysis, and you're getting 4 or 5 different opinions instead of everybody sucking Drake May's dick off his body because the results aren't there. So it's confusing. So thank you, Benjamin Solak. But yes, no, QB progression is not linear, but his has been linear, and it's been a flat line. It has not had peaks and valleys. His peaks and valleys in a fucking stock market would be impossible to see. His best games are never that good. His bad games are never that bad.
Right, a 4-touchdown performance that got you NFC Player of the Month week, whatever it was. That's not
Mitch
a peak.
Trubisky
Got
had
it.
6 touchdowns against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
A
I
really
was
bad
at that
Buccaneers
game.
team.
I was at that game. No, it was
and
just
the
a really
and the
good
Dallas
game.
Cowboys are
Really good
3-4, 2-4, whatever they are. The Cowboys have one of the worst defenses in the league, so it's like that's the same.
Spearheaded by an inferior coordinator. Clearly, yeah. No, I get all that.
It's not
I mean-
fair how it's set up. It's set up to where if you don't win, you wear the losses. But if you do win, and you're not, the thing is, the plan is to win through Caleb. That's how this whole thing is built, right?
That's part of the problem. Yeah.
And Carl, I'll let you talk right here. I'm sorry, I cut you
Yeah.
off. I know, I can see it in your face. But the problem is it's counterintuitive because it's like the wins really just buy you a cushion until you prove it.
Yeah.
Right? Once you have the cushion, you can be Joe Burrow. You could lose a year, and people will go, well, it's the defense because we know it's not the all-star quarterback. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carl.
It's just so much to unpack. I tried to write down to circle back to a lot of stuff. Just go all the way back to how you feel about a certain player, right? Just because I like Caleb Williams, you guys are a lot more critical of him. That's hogwash, right? At the end of the day, we're Bears fans. We are not tied to players. Totally agree with that. That is spot on. But you cannot just change quarterbacks for the sake of it, right? You're missing a lot of nuance, in my opinion, when you talk about that, right? Oh, let's bench Bagent for a week or 2 or 4 so that Caleb can learn and see, oh, this guy can do it better than me. First off, how can you say he's going to do it better than you? That's just an opinion and a hope and a prayer. Piggyback off of that, obvious situation you're drawing a parallel to, in my opinion, would be Carolina. Oh, Carolina was able to bench Bryce Young, but who is the replacement? Was it a UDFA player who's got the exact same amount of NFL experience? No, it was a veteran. So that situation I don't think is really too comparable. On top of the fact that if you want to try and mimic a terrible Carolina team, that's probably a recipe for failure right off the start there.
Well, one sec.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, no, because that's the other thing, though, is if Caleb fails, don't you almost feel this team is in a position to where if Caleb doesn't progress, right? Wouldn't you almost rather have a veteran next year come in here? This team is built to run right now.
That's where you say, okay, we're not going to bench him for Bagent. We're going to bench him for the veteran Case Keenum that we signed. If that's the route that you want to go, that's the only logical argument I could try and extract from David's thought process here. Again,
No, so then
it's a
David-
terrible
I don't-
opinion, in my opinion, because
So
again,
David's
you're,
thought process
you're
is-
mimicking the Panthers.
If you're
No, I
going to
don't
bench
think-
him,
I don't
why
think
not
anything-
figure out Bagent and then still get a veteran, right? Like you can do
No, I don't
both.
think anything. No,
That-
I don't
that-
think anything Carl said is crazy yet. So like, let him finish. I don't
Yeah,
think anything he said-
that's exactly where we're going here, right? If you're going to bench Caleb Williams for Tyson Bagent in any capacity, that is the final move. That is the move where you trade Caleb Williams away to the Carolina Panthers in a very ironic trade for your 6th-round pick or whatever the fuck they garnered for Baker Mayfield is the joke I'm trying to create here, right? So
that is the
now let's go back to
Sam Darnold route traded after you.
Yeah. That's another thing here, right? So, again, I didn't fully comprehend, Paul, and I'm not asking you to clean this up. I'm just saying out loud. I don't comprehend this list perfectly, right? Green means good, red means bad, right? Caveman, easy peasy.
Green means
I get it. Here, for my caveman explanation, right? Green means good, red means bad. Any way you slice it, Baker Mayfield is a green, but in the same breath, Tua turned the ball over is a red. He is bad. So all this list is telling me is that it's very hard to play quarterback in the NFL. What a surprise. The quarterbacks here that are red, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, I sure wish the teams, or I think that the teams that drafted them sure wish they still had them, right?
Well, that's
so
why they're
again,
red.
let's
Because what do they do for
let's
this
give
guy?
up on Caleb Williams because we didn't win enough football games in the second season of him in the NFL with a rookie head coach and what appears to be a failed defensive coordinator. I say that half jokingly. I don't know. It's just I don't think that you can have these wishy-washy opinions. Like you guys said earlier, right? We have our opinions, we circle back to them, we stick on them. That's how I try and be as well. So when I say Caleb Williams is deserved, promised, jokingly, with our dancing Israelite jokes, promised for 30 more games, whatever it is at this point, I do genuinely believe that. Because if he was to be benched in any capacity, outside of a fraudulent JJ McCarthy injury situation, it's not going to fly, man. So just write it out. Quarterback position or progression is not linear. You're going to have to go through the highs and lows, and there are highs and lows. Trust me. I was not happy with Caleb Williams. If we're going to get into the actual opinion on how he played against the Ravens, I am sick and tired of the motherfucker staring down Roman Dunze and giving twice as many targets to Odunze when you compare that to DJ Moore. I'm at the point where I don't think that DJ Moore is he's lighting the world on fire, but it's gotten to the point for me where you're giving this guy all this money, and when he's given the opportunity to make a play, he's making it. Just fucking force feed that guy. I don't care about Rome Odunze anymore. So talk about opinions here. Going into the season, Rome Odunze, undisputed wide receiver number 1. When your calling card is catching contested footballs, and you can't catch the contested fucking football, I'm just sick and tired of the guy. I don't care about the afro. And then last thing too, Caleb Williams is probably the perfect archetype for a modern quarterback, in my opinion. Obviously, we're not talking about a Tom Brady sit in the pocket statue. We're talking about a guy who's able to overcome the ailments of an offensive line, which is talented, but again, new scheme, cohesion, bad left tackle. The guy's got to be able to use his feet to get out of the pocket. He's doing that. He's avoiding sacks at just an obscenely high rate. Mm-hmm. The only problem I have with the quarterback is the details at the end of the day, right? Bad in the red zone, staring down targets. That's the issues I have a problem with. But as far as talent, he's the perfect archetype. And sorry, I'll stop rambling.
I don't think it's a ramble. I thought it was really, really good points, honestly. Like, it's funny if you've watched me and Carl lately. It's like, this is Paulie's turning into me. I'm turning into Paulie. No, this is where it is nuanced. And this is where, like, I don't want to come off as like just hating on Caleb. I don't hate. I want him to be the guy. And it's not that I think he, like, your example, Carl, like, if your backup right now is Gardner Minshew, would you say Gardner Minshew just needs to come into the game right now, or you would just still be hard, dead fast, like
Gardner Minshew. I'm trying to.
I would argue he's the best backup in all of football.
Wow. I was going to say Minshew? I think that Minshew has zero ability to do much of anything for a franchise that doesn't have an iconic quarterback that goes down for an injury, right? He's just a total failure, in my opinion. And if he was a player that was brought in and, you said, oh, let's just bench Caleb, it would be very hard for me to watch Bears football at that time.
I don't say it as like, I don't say he's like a starter. I'm saying like he's the best. If you need 6 games from a quarterback in the league, I can't name a guy off the top of my head that I would rather have to win me those 6 games as a backup throughout a course of the season than like Gardner Minshew. I don't know, like
I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
If I had 64 names in front of me, I could poke a monster hole through that, but I just simply can't think of it right now.
Yeah, one of them being that Gardner Minshew offers you no long-term hope.
I didn't say that. I'm talking about backup.
David is saying, like, if a guy went down, I think, and you needed 6 games to finish a season or whatever.
Yeah. Like, I can't think of a better one in the league right now.
I can't.
They'd be behind really good quarterbacks, because if they were good backups, they'd be behind shitty ones.
As they scramble to sleeper.
Right? Yeah.
No. Let me tell you, Paul. I just signed Kirk Cousins, signed to my my fantasy football team. Not that matters. End of the day, I was so confident that a quarterback of his caliber could come in and start for an Atlanta team against an awful Miami team to get some points, win a football game. Totally shit his pants. What was it? 31-3. Total just bumfuck of a game. Kirk Cousins is so beyond done.
So, like, my point from that whole bringing it up is when you say, like, I'm not saying to bring in some sort of backup to show him how it's done. I don't think that's Caleb's issue. I don't think he needs to show how it's done. I genuinely think when you say the minor details, I'm talking about the same thing. I think Caleb Williams has almost fallen in love with the idea of what he can do in Ben Johnson's offense and what he's been trying to do, rather than what is supposed to be done in this offense. It's like Ben Johnson to me screams like his quarterback needs to be the coach's son. Does that make sense? Like a guy who just gets it. That's why he kind of fell in love with Jared Goff And I think part of Ben Johnson's problem right now, if he has one, which I don't think is many, I think he's done a really, really good job, is that I think he's looking at Caleb like Jared Goff. And I still think that the offense is eerily similar to Detroit, where he's not asking Caleb Williams to do Caleb Williams shit. Like when Alex Smith went down and Patrick Mahomes went in, the offense looked completely different because instantly Andy Reid asked Patrick Mahomes to throw 60-yard bombs instantly and stretch the fucking field with Tyreek Hill. Separate story because it's Tyreek Hill. But the offense looked completely different, which opened up a whole different type of offensive style for Patrick Mahomes, which let him like grow into what he's supposed to be. Whereas still Ben Johnson, as most coaches, are still trying to fit Caleb into Ben Johnson's system. I still don't see Caleb being like himself other than when he does these crazy scramble drills or he does these crazy fucking things. And what I mean by Tyson Bagent playing a few, I hope Carl can at least hear us so that we can.
I think he had to make a phone call, but still, yep.
Yeah. If he can hear, what my point is not. I'm not saying put Tyson in because he needs to show Caleb what it's done. I think what Tyson being in would do is to show Caleb like what is this offense supposed to look like with a quarterback that's not as gifted as you. That's not as like physically able to pull off these extravagant plays and what to do in a situation when you can't scramble or avoid like 5 tacklers and then try to make a throw on the run 25 yards down the field. What do you do if the pocket's collapsing in Ben Johnson's offense? Is dump off to the running back. Stop looking that way when you've got 2 wide open receivers that way, because you can't scramble around and try to go that way. No, what you do is you stand in the fucking pocket and deliver a little dump off for 6 yards. And that's what I meant by in the clip that you even mentioned is my point in that clip was not that, Ben Johnson wants to do 6-yard dump offs and shit and all that stuff. My point is like in a pinch situation, Ben Johnson wants a 25-yard bomb every time. And when it's not available, a limited quarterback like Jared Goff, like maybe Tyson Bagent, who's not as physically limited, is going to go, you know what? Fuck it, 7. Right? 25's immediately not open. 25 yards. Let's get the 6. Let's get the 4. Let's get the 3. And what Caleb's problem still is, and it's carryover from last year, maybe he does need more time. Maybe he doesn't get it right now. But what he is still trying to do is when some shit fails, is he's still trying to get the 25 yards as the play was designed to get. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I still think he needs to almost see what it's supposed to look like from a person who's not as physically gifted. Because what I saw from the beginning of Caleb Williams' season was like, if he fucked up, he didn't try for. Now he's reverting back to his USC and his last year's Bear days, which is scramble around, holy fucking shit, what's going to happen? Bomb. And that shit looks cool, and it looks appealing, and it looks fun to watch, and it looks interesting, but it's not resulting in what you want.
David, real quick, I want to address Shorty here. 3 years in Ben Johnson's office. The problem with that, Shorty, is by the end of the second year, you need to make a decision on Caleb's 5th year option. At that point, he's hitting free agency. So no, that's it's just too long. And even though some people think
how
3 years in Ben Johnson's offense is to the end.
That
of
would
year
put him
4.
at the end of year 4.
Yeah,
By then,
and
for
then
making
can you
it
not make your decision on your 5th year option after that?
You
No.
can, but what?
No,
You cannot. You cannot.
Fifth-year
May
options have to be
after
signed
year 3.
Beginning
May
of
after
year
3.
4.
Yep, May after year
The
3.
beginning of
May
year
after,
4.
Yep, correct. After
You
the
have
draft.
to sign
Okay.
a 5th-year option at the end of year 3, which is end of next year.
And I would wager that 5th year option is what? $25 million? $25 million for a quarterback who could potentially be garnering a $60 million annual
What
paycheck?
I would tell you is history shows that, like, the last two guys that kind of went through that were Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, 5th year picked up and cut after. The one that 5th year picked up and signed was Blake Bortles. After that, like, you don't, the decisions made by then. Decline 5th year option, cut after
This
your
is
4th.
not. This is
So
not
like history's not in your favor. That's all I'm saying. And so like that's kind of
it's a low. It is a low opportunity cost, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because-
this is where I disagree with Paul. I'm going to
Okay.
disagree with Paul. I don't think the 5th year option here matters so much. I'm not even going that far. Like, we're talking about this macro, and I'm genuinely like in the micro right now, where week to week this dude is just not there yet.
I'm just saying it doesn't take teams that long. Everybody keeps telling me to wait, David. No. Like, the NFL does not wait for you. I'm showing you that these teams want to either figure it out.
Right. The
Or
NFL
they move
doesn't
on,
wait
man.
for Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. Right.
Not the team that drafted him. Carl, what does that do for you?
That
What does this do for the
that is a
Chicago Bears if Caleb
demoralizing
Williams is a
failure
great
of a
Miami Dolphin or
mistake.
something?
That
So
would be a
there's mistakes.
demoralizing failure of a mistake,
That's
piggybacking off of the
not-
building of a new stadium.
That's
If you
not
want to
the
compare yourself to the
conversation
Browns, go ahead.
Not the conversation here, because there's mistakes on both sides. There's mistakes like Tua, where you do sign him and you shouldn't have. Mistakes like Kyler. Mistakes like you could say Trevor
I
Lawrence.
wouldn't say
right?
Kyler's
There's-
a drastic mistake,
Dude,
but
Daniel Jones was signed. and that
No,
was a mistake.
Kyler is the hell and purgatory that I want to avoid most of anyone on this list.
sure, that is a very valid point. But in my
Kyler is
opinion,
nothing.
Kyler Murray would look a lot better if it wasn't for the happenstance happening all around him. And I know
Oh, that's
if
bullshit.
my
Kyler
aunt had a
Murray's
dick, he'd be my
fucking-
uncle, whatever it is.
No,
I know.
no.
You actually enlightened me to that. I thought that Kyler was going to be fantastic. He's crap.
Well, as I was saying,
it
you
just
also
feels
point
weird
to-
because, in my opinion, what you should do with the quarterback is give him all the time that he needs, right? 5th year option, I don't care. If Caleb doesn't work out, I think that every single fucking thing attached to him is not going to work out.
No.
Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, any coach you name, the general manager, they would all have to go at the exact same time. I'm
No,
not
you've
sold on
won
Ben
2
Johnson
games, but
whatsoever.
they're playing like crap.
And you've lost games by Ben Johnson abandoning the run game in Baltimore. Fuck you, Baltimore. This head coach is not lighting the world on fire by any stretch of the imagination either. And
this
then
is
the
the
guy
problem,
he handed
Carl.
the defense over to, we're signing tumors?
You didn't plan on leaning on your run game to win games. That's why you drafted a running back. in the
Detroit did.
7th round. It didn't. You, as the Bears, did not plan on having to lean on your running game. That's why you waited
Or
till
your
the 7th
defense.
round.
So that
Or
is a
your
failure
defense.
of the roster construction.
What you planned on, Carl, is a 1st overall pick quarterback, a top 10 pick wide receiver, a top 10 pick tight end, a top 10 pick right tackle, a number 1 overall pick you traded back and got DJ Moore in the process. That is the plan. That is the plan, and that's what's falling
That is a
short.
roster construction failure.
No, this is where you're wrong, Kyle.
No.
Carl. Like, you're not listening. The point is that the 4 games that you won were a bonus, a full-on blind bonus. And if it wasn't for those 4 games being a bonus by the shitty end of your team that you acknowledged, you put them as the 2nd worst, if not the worst running game in all of football, and they were like top 3 those 4 weeks. You had the defense as like 22 to 26, and they were top 3 those 4 weeks. If it wasn't for that, this team might have been 1-3 or 0-4 over those weeks. But Caleb gets the credit, and Caleb gets the extended time. Listen, or Caleb gets more extension on his leash because the rest of the team picked up slack when no one else expected them to. But now, when the team is dependent on the guy who's supposed to step the fuck up and can't, now everybody's like, well, why didn't the running game step up again? They were never supposed to. Why didn't the
And we
defense get some turnovers? They were never supposed to. This year was
May I?
supposed to go into the shootout category. That was the plan this year. This year was supposed to be Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and a bunch of fucking receivers and a bunch of tight ends and an upgraded offensive line getting into 42 to 35 shootouts that they lose. And you can't fucking beat a team unless your defense gets 3 or 4 turnovers and you have a top 3 rushing attack. That's a huge fucking problem because the regression to the mean is coming. The regression to the average is coming. And they might not be a 22nd defense. They might not be a 31st running back team or running attack, but they will be bottom 20. They'll be in the 20s of running. They'll be in the 20s of passing. And guess what? Guess what? And guess what? After all of this, the lowest category might be the passing attack. The fucking passing attack might be the lowest ranked out of all 3 of those categories. When you expected a top 10 offense, you expected a bottom 2 running attack and a bottom 10 defense. Now you've got something in the middle there because they're upgrading and they're stepping up. But the passing attack that you expected to be top 10, 12, 15, not putting words in your mouth. I'm not saying you said this, but what people said of like 10, 12, 15. And this is going to be like, what, 25th best passing attack? Oh, wow, you broke the Bears' 4,000-yard record. So is every other fucking team. My standard is not the Bears. My standard is I want a top 10 quarterback drafted at first overall. It's not that ridiculous.
So that is where I say the roster construction has led to this failure because you're wasting your draft picks on the positions that matter. You're not getting your left tackle to allow the quarterback to play quarterback, right? We have to rely on his God-given ability to avoid sacks at an ungodly high rate. And then the running back situation, if you're going to abandon the run immediately and throw up the red flag, hey, we're a one-dimensional offense, what the fuck do you expect? He isn't Tom Brady. He's a young quarterback trying to learn a brand new offense. And I don't care about the tools. Rome Odunze, trending towards a failure. Can't catch the contested balls. Why is the head coach not scheming the ball to the highest paid player in Chicago Bears history? It's a roster construction failure, and you're expecting too much from the quarterback.
But go into Paulie's list real quick because I do want to just bring it up because I had a hard time digesting this list too. The 3 times you guys have put it up, what I see that stands out and what I see that like on the negative and the positive, which is to say like what situation, the way my brain is processing this list is look at the good ones, look at the bad ones. Where are you in these lists? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Those are the obvious wins. Patrick Mahomes, I guess Jared Goff, whatever.
Sure,
you're nowhere near, but you're
That's
nowhere
what I want.
near the level of how obvious those were, right? You're nowhere near it. Like it's not obvious.
When was Josh
whatsoever.
Allen obvious? When did Josh Allen become obvious?
After his third year, he signed a 6-year deal.
Because by the end,
But
of
not
year
after
2,
his second year, not by the end of the year 2.
Let me. The point I'm saying here is then you've got the obvious negatives, which are to me like the obvious reds that are on a positive is when teams moved on as quickly as they could because they knew the guy wasn't there. As much as he was decent, he just obviously wasn't the guy. And to me, those are examples like Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, right? Mitch Trubisky, Paxton. Like these guys had flashes just like Caleb, but they were obviously not the guy. And I think Caleb's better than most of the names I just said. But the part that sucks the most and why there's going to be a really shitty discourse till the end of this year is he is right dead fucking center of the obvious good, the obvious bad, and it's fucking Caleb right in the fucking middle. And he's doing this shit where he's making the hardest possible situation on everybody. Team, coach, management, where he is performing just well enough to be not the reason you lose, obviously, but you are most definitely not the reason you win. So what your argument is at this point, in terms of roster construction, is it's the GM's fault for not building a fucking super good defense, a really good special teams, and a surrounding cast to where your quarterback just has to game manage. You didn't draft him to be a game manager. You drafted him to be a fucking superstar.
I'm not trying to be critical of the whole team in the general sense like that. I'm being hypercritical of the roster construction in 2025, specifically with this draft class under this new regime, right? Not a fan of taking a tight end, a backup tight end, at 10th overall when your defensive line simply cannot generate a lick of fucking pressure.
I think you're kind of taking our words out of our mouth because this is our points.
Right. I mean, we were very much lockstep in a lot of things, right? Oh, we wanted Omarion Hampton in the second round. No, you can't do that. You can't draft a running back that high. Goes in the first round. Go ahead, Paul.
No, okay. I want to give you guys an example. I was watching the Chiefs game, right? And there was a pass rush against Patrick Mahomes. Left tackle gets beat. He could scamper out, but the guy's got a clear shot against him, and Patrick knows how much these guys want to fucking hit him, right? Dude, he threw that ball a yard in front of the receiver at his feet, knowing it's an uncatchable pass, and took a fucking lick. Boom, flag, 15-yard, roughing the passer. He got up like, what the hell? You know what he did on the next play? Rushed for like 20, 25 and laughed at him. What do we get?
This is where...
What do we get in like a moment of crunch time? Like intentional grounding. And it's Ryan Pace's fault. Like, listen, no there's moments.
I was going to say
I'm not even
that bullshit, those bullshit
finish.
Calls, you have to earn them by winning.
That wasn't a bullshit call. That was intentional grounding.
That was a really bad intentional grounding.
Really bad one. And so here's the thing, though.
That's like rookie shit. That's like that's like guy who's never played quarterback shit.
To me, I'm not even going to sit there and like harp in on the stats all crazy. For me, it's more situational football and moments. And there was a moment in the game, David, you remember this. We're down 6-13. And I said, like, do we need a touchdown here? You need to put yourself back in the game. If you get a field goal again, and it's 9-13, and they score a touchdown, and you're down by 11, this is done, right? What did we do? Not even score the 3. And this is that's my issue. It's like in those moments when I need him to step up, not even like carry the team throughout the game. Like, no, what did he do in the last drive before the half on third down? Intentional grounding. Like, dude, like those moments are key, and he failed. He failed in that game.
This is where, and like you're almost wrapping my point up full circle because I want Caleb to do well, and I think he can. But right now, he is a good football player who has zero clue on how to be a quarterback. He has no situational awareness. He has no dump off ability. He has no take a hit ability. He has no game management tactics or skills. He has no time management skills. He has no situational awareness skills. He is a fucking like what I think this year is proving, and especially to Ben Johnson at this point, and I think like the frustration's almost on his face every press conference, is he's like, dude, I thought I was getting a like 60% polished product. And he's like, dude, I got like 20.
He talks about completion percentage.
What the
David,
fuck?
I got to do my chaos analytic again. That's what I have to do.
Dude,
might have to. I have to, because it's like, is this a...
It might be worse than Justin Fields.
Dude, it might. And so you cannot sit there and function in a way where you're calling pass plays and they wind up being like scrambles or sacks or like something other than an incomplete.
And this is
call a pass play. You need to throw the like. It's
Carl,
rough.
I don't know if you were able to hear this when you were stepped away from the microphone, but like my point about bringing Tyson Bagent is not that like I need a veteran to show him how to play football. He can play fucking football. He's good at football. I need him to see in Ben Johnson's situational playbook, like when you are not as gifted as you are, Caleb, like, okay, cool. Ben Johnson's offense is really well made. It's a 25-yard out, like post. It's a 15-yard out. And when both of those are gone, it's a 4-yard dump off. What does Caleb see? He goes 25-yard post, 15-yard out, and then it's a scramble for a potential 40-yard bomb. That's Caleb's brain. And that's what I watch week to week. So what I need him to see and like comprehend is watch what a physically limited person that's not as gifted as you, Caleb, because Caleb is super fucking gifted. What does a physically limited person do in a situation like Jared Goff when that shit is not available to you? A 45-yard scramble is not normal. A 45-yard scramble around with a fucking rocket is like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, end of list. Even Joe Burrow doesn't do that shit. He plays on time and when it's not there. So what I'm saying is show the guy what is it like to run this offense with physical limitations, add that to your repertoire, and then you still can throw in 1 or 2 of those scrambles a game. Yeah. But it's like 6 or 7 or 8 of them a game, and there's just no awareness of what to do in a football game when that shit isn't available to you. Because again, like I said, what does a physically gifted athlete do when their mental midgetness kicks in? They rely on their physical ability. They're going to start scrambling and dodging and ducking and diving and start whipping the ball. And that shit doesn't work in the NFL. It's been proven time and time and time again. Why is Lamar Jackson good? Is because he's like the most physically gifted quarterback, maybe in NFL history. And he puts it together with simple dump offs and like little 8-yard checkdowns and fucking scrambles when he needs to. And it's a perfect little combination, which is what Caleb could be. He could be somewhere between Lamar and he could be somewhere between Patrick Mahomes. But the fucking missing critical piece is like the mental side. Like when that shit is not available, when you can't turn into Patrick Mahomes and when you can't scramble for 50 yards, what does a guy do in an offense where defense has done a good job? You get 5 yards, dude. Like stop looking that way when there's like 2 checkdowns that way.
You know why Joe Flacco? You know why Joe Flacco can come in midweek for a team right now and win them a game? Because more games are lost. Because more games are lost than are won in the NFL, dude. With these veteran quarterbacks, is what you're talking about, David. Once you even become limited by physical ability, but you've been around, you got the mental part. But you know, if you just keep it running, if the floor is just high, it's all right. That's all right. Just, dude, you don't have to be anything special, but you do have to be consistent. You do have to be consistent in your layups. You can't sit there and miss fucking layups and try and make up for them. Like,
I think if you ask Caleb himself or any Caleb like stan, which I'm not either or, but if you ask any Caleb fan, if you could take 20% of his athleticism just away and add it to 20% mental ability on the football field, you'd have a fucking top 10 quarterback like that.
The best quarterback of all time was drafted in the 7th round. He wasn't physically more gifted. He was consistent, coachable.
And it's just such a fucking like, and again, maybe he'll get it. Maybe. But like his physical ability is not going away anytime soon. So until he understands, and I think you can, it all is spoken in the little awkward snippet of press conferences this week when Caleb goes on his pick and he goes, I read the right route. I made the right read. I threw the correct ball. The guy just made a play. And Ben Johnson's like, no, you didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? In the nicest, most professional way he could do. He's just like, what are you talking about, dude? You most certainly did not make the right read. That is not the right ball to throw.
Running back was open in the flat on the pick he threw.
Like wide open. Like butt naked wide open.
You know what? And that's the thing about this list. Is like when we're talking about physically gifted, these are all first round drafted quarterbacks. All these guys physically gifted from an NFL comparative standard. It's not. It don't take you anywhere in this league.
I have next to no confidence that we are going to see in any way, shape, or form a different quarterback this week. Are you guys? Like, do you think it just clicked in Caleb Williams' head?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying at the beginning of your show.
Bengals game?
That's where we will differ. I still have confidence. It's dropping.
Mine's next to 0.
And that's why I said that's
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry. 3 weeks in a row, I was there. I was like, dude, it's coming. It's the 300-yard, 3-touchdown game. It's coming. It's gotta.
I still
And
think
I'm
it's
at the
coming.
point where I'm like,
still
no,
think it's
dude,
coming.
do you know what he's going to do against the Bengals? It's a terrible defense. He's going to throw for 268, and he's going to throw for a touchdown and a pick or two. No, he's going to throw for 260 and a touchdown with 0 picks, or he's going to throw for 260 and 2 touchdowns with 1 pick. It's going to look like the most mediocre fucking third round
Can
quarterback performance ever.
Step a second up. Do you guys feel like Caleb Williams was the reason we lost?
Last game,
Yes.
1,000.
The reason.
Yes.
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 I
So,
don't
like-
agree with the fact that he was the reason, right? Replace him, right? What?
Hold
did
on,
he win,
before you say anything,
31 to 30.
Don't blame an entire group or side of the ball. Don't just say defense fucked it up, because that's 11 human beings versus Caleb. Don't say defense fucked it up. Don't say the running game, which is 6 offensive linemen, 3 tight ends, 2 running backs, and say the running game fucked it up. Don't say that. Don't do that. Be a little bit more
Caleb
specific. If
still
you're
has
not saying
6 linemen.
Caleb is the reason.
Why? Okay, you obviously you guys are very critical of the quarterback position specifically, but
I
it's
wanna
a
hear
team
what-
football game. I just don't understand where this is coming from, right? Why are you
So
telling me I
what-
can't say
how did
that the head
Caleb
coach
improve his
abandoning
team?
the running game put this offense into a one-dimensional situation? The quarterback moved the football from your stat line, right? Almost 300 yards. Not iconic, right? Not this, throughout these numbers, right? 400-yard, 4-touchdown performance. Of course it wasn't that.
I'll give you specific reasons.
Hold on. No. I
When
want to
you're-
answer this.
I gave
Let
you
him
specific
talk.
reasons.
Let him talk.
No,
Hold
you
on.
didn't.
Okay.
The defensive line is not able to generate a lick of pressure, okay? The players that we need to be able to generate the pressure, Kyler Gordon, not there. So what are we going to do? Well, we can't blitz because Nick McLeod is physically incapable of doing that. That's why we had to go sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Okay. Well, your secondary's already strained due to injury. You can't cover. You can't stop the run because you can't generate a pass rush. They're just going to run it down your fucking throat. All right, well, offense, why don't you do something to counteract that? Why don't you run the football? Nah, I don't want to. I want to pass the ball. Here we go. One-dimensional offense, roster construction failure. Your tight end can't come through, partially because you don't fucking target him. Your running game, while limitedly effective, you just abandon it for whatever which reason. So it just doesn't make a lick of sense. And when the quarterback does decide to throw the football, he's staring down his one target that he's literally in love with, right? Bedroom eyes. Hey, Rome, follow me to the bedroom. What the fuck is all that about? So, again, it's definitely not just a quarterback situation where you just say, oh, let's go get Joe Flacco. Yeah, Joe Flacco wins us that game against the Ravens. What are we talking about?
Answer me this. In the first quarter, yardage, we had 125, they had 8. We end up with 6 points. Okay? Dude, that first drive went really well, other than the last 2 plays. You get into the red zone, false start, Colson Loveland. Now, instead of 3rd and goal being short, it's 3rd and goal, which is long, and Caleb gets sacked. Right? So it's like we can sit there and blame the run game and say, oh, the run got stopped. But the reason why we're not up 10-0 or 14-0 at the end of the first is because Caleb got sacked on 3rd down. When it came time in crunch on 3rd down, he threw a pass to the sideline, intentional grounding right before the half. That has nothing to do with a running game. Right? And outside,
like,
and so, dude, and David, I try and put things into context. The Saints game, I told you, we were up 20-7. I don't care that he finished 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. You're up 20-7. You rode the win out. Cool. Fine. The stats don't look the greatest. Okay. But I get that.
yeah.
I want to know that when you come across situations where you need to lean on the quarterback, that you can lean on him. This defense has shown it's better than we thought. This running back game is actually better than we thought it was going to be. But Caleb is worse than I thought he was going to be. And that's my issue here. It's when things are a plan, like in that first quarter, David, and things are scripted, and you're following the script, it looks fine. You outscore the team in yardage 125-8. When the script is no longer there and Caleb's in charge, the wheels fall off too much. Just too much. I mean, it turned around completely the other way. Then we got like 8 yards and they got 120 yards. Like
Shorty, we've been civil right
3
now.
years now.
We've been civil right now, but you want to open Pandora's box. But when Caleb is not the quarterback of this team in 2 years and you are sucking the dick of whatever third round pick is the starting quarterback of this team, don't fucking come back at me when I'm telling you that it's irrelevant. Don't tell me I want immediate results. It's tell me that I need to see performance in a situation that it dictates. When you come out of 2 red zone, 5 out of the game, 4 out of the game, and you come out with fucking 6 points out of 4 red zone opportunities, that's not a fucking mommy, I want immediate results. It's no, play football.
No, there's just no middle ground, David, because it's like
Play football.
It's like wait,
when you're
wait 3
sucking
years.
the dick of whatever fucking backup quarterback old guy, and you're like, well, Ben Johnson with Gardner Minshew's gonna be a fucking amazing because Caleb won't be on the team anymore because I have high expectations for a first overall pick. Excuse me.
It's wait. I've told you. It's how I started the show. It's the only excuse
Argument. It's the
left.
only argument.
Wait,
one.
wait. Now we're impatient. Now, no, before it was the running game. Before it was the defense. You can't use those two now. They've played over expectation. Now it's wait. Now it's wait.
Now
impatient.
Paulie, you know what you are? You're an impatient bitch.
Dude.
That's all they've got left. That's all these people have left.
Because you're a piece of shit.
I am not a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, but you're a little bitch. Sure.
Dude, it is. And you know what the problem is, David? Next year, if it hasn't happened, we will just wait 2 more years. You're being impatient. You want immediate results. And then it's going to come to a point where it's like, too late. And he's cut. That guy sucked. It was all good. Blah, blah, blah. Dude, I love the Bears.
Shorty,
too, man.
let's not make
come
promises we can't keep. You thought it was 12 wins and it was 10 wins and it was Justin Fields and none of these things that we even came close to your expectation levels of excitement. I respect your enthusiasm for the Bears. I respect your enthusiasm. Respect our reality and our correctness about analyzing our football team. And how we do not want to just be fans of a moment or a person. We want to win a fucking Super Bowl since 1985.
If Caleb doesn't get better and get better quick, then
you're going to be in football.
And then I will make the case that this team is in a great position for a veteran quarterback to come in here and hit the ground running next year. Because I'm not willing to waste another year trying to figure it out if it's not becoming obvious. Like, I need to know by the end of the year 3. I don't want to be left with questions by the end of year 3. So that means that by the end of year 2, it's got to consistently. The floor has to rise consistently. It's not. Like, yeah, we're getting these little spikes sometimes. The floor remains low.
You know what's funny, Paul? Is like people like Carl threw Dallas in my face. Dallas, 294 and 4 touchdowns in some of the most easy throws I've ever seen in my life. Like, my mom could have made those throws and they'd be fucking touchdowns. You're going to throw that in my... There has been nothing other than that has been special about his game in any way, shape, or form this year. And we're impatient. It's not about the patience. It's about you need to demonstrate something that is worth being patient for. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in football hell. You can't get a quarterback at 14 to 22, and you're not going to be a bottom 10 pick, and you're not going to be a top 10 pick. So unless you're dependent on who's the next veteran you're going to bring in, you're going to steal Jared Goff from the fucking Lions. Matt Stafford's retiring. Aaron Rodgers is retiring. Like, who are you bringing in? This league is thin at quarterbacks. You want to retread Justin Fields' tires?
You know why this list matters, David? Because the financials dictate it. Because the reason why there are guys in green that are mistakes, right? Like Russell Wilson won Super Bowls with the Seahawks, but not after they paid him. Once they paid him, that shit was over. Because Russell Wilson needed the running game, needed the defense. Now you can't afford it, right? So, like, for these guys to get to that spot, and like you said, do just enough to earn that contract, it doesn't play out over time. You might wind up with situations like Trevor Lawrence or Kyler Murray that you desperately want to avoid. Like, no, the guys on this list that are a success are Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. That's what I want. And those guys, at the you're dying to sign them by the end of the year 3.
You know what's
There's no
funny about
reason why
this, Paulie?
we shouldn't want to sign Caleb by the end of the year 3 because he's played so goddamn good.
The name on the list that stands out to me is everybody is talking about Caleb like he's Justin fucking Herbert, who also has not done anything of note.
I will
Justin Herbert
trade Caleb and a first for him.
In a heartbeat. If you don't, you're a football moron. I can't speak. I can't talk to you about football. If in your head you say Caleb and a first for Justin Herbert, and you say no, I can't talk to you about football. I won't entertain further conversation with you because you don't understand football. Like, and these people are talking about Caleb as though he's Justin Herbert, who also has not really done anything. He's won like 6 to 10 games every season, never won a playoff game. And they're like, but whatever. Like, people would fucking jizz their pants off their bodies if Caleb Williams was putting in Justin Herbert-esque performances. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
If ifs and buts. If this was the 80s, it's not. It's not the 80s. It's 2025. Like, God damn it, dude. Patience is not a thing in this league. And it's not a thing because it's structured that way. So these teams don't get bit in the ass financially because of how much you have to pay these guys, right? And even so, some teams still get bit in the ass, but you can overcome it.
Like the two moves on your list that I respected the most was Josh Rosen getting just fucking kicked out after a year.
Yeah.
Because they were like, let's upgrade this shit. And then Trey Lance just getting straight up kicked off the team after being traded for 3 first-round picks and fucking like 2 years, less than 2 years. Like, those are, I respect those moves because they were like, yo, fucked up. Clearly not the guy. We can see it. We know what we're talking about. We know how to analyze a football player. We know when it's not the guy. Get him out. Get the next guy in. And it's like Brock Purdy is like awesome and whatever. And then Mac Jones comes out and plays just like Brock Purdy. That should tell you something. What that should tell you is Kyle Shanahan is a fucking genius. Genius. He is like what Kyle Shanahan has done with the 49ers might be the greatest coaching performance in the last 5 years. And everybody's just like, 49ers suck. Like, they don't have any players left. Like, yeah, that's the point. If the Bears were doing with Tyson Bagent and their backup linebacker and their backup running back and no receivers and no tight end and their backup tight end, what the Niners are doing, you could have a box to stand on. You have everything in your toolbox, and you can barely get this guy over 4,000 yards. Barely. You haven't done it yet. So I don't even want to say barely. You haven't done it yet. You have everything at your disposal, and you can't even break 4,000 yards. And people are like, but he's about to break 4,000. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? So, like, what are we
David,
talking about here?
Like, and so here's the thing. It's like, I saw, with that comment that Shorty said, like, oh, results aren't immediate. They don't happen overnight. Okay. When he had that Dallas game, for the next, 2 weeks, I saw pictures where it's like, Caleb has the best performance in the first 20 games of any rookie ever. If you take the stats from the first, it's like stuff like that, where it's like, you're throwing it in people's faces if he's all that in a bag of chips because he had a good game. Where in all reality, like Peyton Manning had the worst rookie year of all time. And it's Peyton fucking Manning. So what does Caleb having the best anything mean? No, the thing that matters most is over time. And how do you judge that? Through consistency.
And
The floor has
progression.
to
And
be
this
high,
guy
which
has
is what we're
this guy
saying is
hasn't
not
raised
there.
his game at all this year. That's the crazy thing to me, Paulie. It's like Mugatu. I need to put this clip together. It's the fucking Mugatu clip from Zoolander. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Caleb in week 1 is the same
black lung.
exact quarterback in week 9. Do none of you see this?
No, yeah.
None of you are fucking watching football. He's the same fucking guy from week 1 and 2 to week 8 and 9. It's the same exact player.
There's been a
Nothing
lot of
has
progress.
changed.
There's been a lot of progress from last year to this year. But however, throughout this year, he's been pretty streamlined.
It's a flat dead. Like this is like me deadline, just a deadline, and it's like that's why I'm saying like if he just, dude, almost blessing in disguise.
I hope so, Flex. Yeah,
because
that's what accountability is.
But you know what's fucked up, Flex, is there's comments in this exact 1 hour episode where it's like Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles clearly have an agreement to ride out Caleb. And then he gets 2 years. And then Carl's point is he gets 30 games. And then some people are saying he gets this season. And some people, and me and Paul are like, dude, I genuinely, I'm not even kidding, Paulie. I'm a complete, like my worst case scenario is 200 yards and a touchdown and a pick. It's the fucking worst because I either need him to have 350 and 3 and show me something. Show me you have a pair of fucking balls and you can play some football when the adversity is about to hit you. That's part of it. Like these great quarterback performances are like when your team is down and they need you to step up, you can do it. Or honest to God, I genuinely fucking mean this. I would rather have 125 yards, 2 picks, and get benched by halftime than fucking 220, a pick and a touchdown again.
David,
I don't want 220. Any fucking jackass can pull that shit off in Ben Johnson's offense.
David, after the Dallas game, what do we say? And I said we go back on our opinions and we talk about what we said and we kind of analyze it. What do we say? Great, good,
do it
complete
again.
Game. But you said you need 2 out of the next 4. I said give me 1 more out of the next 4 of those kind of games. We've seen the opposite. Right?
Can't do it once. Can't even get close.
So that's telling. Another thing is you want to keep waiting. Dude, if this continues, right, and you don't win games because you blocked a field goal and whatever, and like, so Ryan Poles might be fired by the end of next year.
No.
So you best believe, dude, but you know what I'm saying, dude? You know what kind of league this is? Like,
no,
I know the Bears won't do it. But it's like, this is the type of league where, like, your job is, in theory, never safe. Like, you are held to your results, and you are held to a certain standard. And dude, and at the end of the day, like, they may be looking at it as our best chance for success is to go get a veteran because Caleb hasn't grown. Caleb hasn't progressed. We don't want that. I'm not preaching for that to happen. I'm saying that's what will happen if this continues, because that's the results we're getting right now, right? And so, dude, there's gotta be growth. It's missing. There's plenty of ways to win games, and I always said, like Tom Waddle said this about the Super Bowl, about winning a Super Bowl. It's really like winning in the NFL in general. It takes 3 things: you got to be healthy, you got to be talented, and you got to get a little lucky, right? What you want to avoid. Listen, if you're talented but you're not healthy, and like I'll take all the lucky wins I can get. But if the talent is missing,
you've maxed that out this year.
If the talent is missing, like, and you're winning because of luck, those are inflated wins. That is not real success. It's not sustainable, right? What is sustainable? Talent, health, game plan, going according to the game plan. Not like blocking a field goal like against the Raiders, right? So like I want sustained success. For that to happen, Caleb's got to play better, man. That's
Diggs,
what
Diggs saying, like, if he throws for 220 and goes for 150 on the ground again, then Diggs, then why the fuck are you spending a first overall pick on that guy? Like, you can get, if you have 150 yards a game, you can go get Daniel Jones for free.
Yeah.
You can go get Daniel Jones and be 6-1.
More than Tyson Bagent
are you wasting?
Right? Like I need him to do more than Tyson Bagent can do because I know right now Tyson Bagent can run the game plan more efficient.
You know who can hand off for
So, like,
150
It's an
yards a
asinine
game?
statement.
No. I've seen that guy play. He's very comfortable at the position himself. He's limited
So
a lot
what-
by his physical talents. Now,
So hold on,
that's
hold
the
on.
thing. Like,
Wait,
What are the
no.
repercussions of
It's
you
what
saying
David
that
was
if
saying.
Bagent is forced to come in and looks like crap? Because that's
No,
what
no,
would
no.
happen.
No, like it's we're saying it in jest. Let me ask you a direct question. If
it
Caleb
wouldn't be
comes out
different
against
because
the
Caleb looks like
Bengals,
that.
Carl, it's the Bengals, one of the worst defenses in the league. They have Joe Flacco at quarterback trying to, I don't even know if Band-Aid is the right word for Band-Aiding the season. Caleb comes out, right? And they do the same exact shit against the Bengals as they did the Ravens. They can't score. They're fucking struggling. Caleb goes for 250, a touchdown and a pick, and they lose. Are you going to find a silver lining and say, you know what?
Yeah.
Part of the progression, guys, you impatient fucks. Let's lose to teams like the fucking Bengals and just hope for progression.
Jets
You know
just
what the
beat 'em.
Ravens said? You know what the Ravens said? At 1-5,
Jets
they
just
said
beat them. That's how bad they are. And you're going to take a loss and be like, progression.
Right.
Dude,
the
Ravens
Jets just
said,
beat them.
We can beat this team.
And the Jets are
with our
better than
backup."
you?
The Jets just beat them.
Oh,
Yet the Jets scored a shit ton of points. And the Bengals defense gave out a lot of points. It was a shootout.
then
so yes.
Caleb should have 450 fucking yards in this game.
If your expectation is to win a shootout, then sure. What it is. I don't think that's a recipe for success.
No, my expectation it's more of like, what is my confidence level that we can win a shootout? And that confidence level should be a lot higher
It's like
than
a
it
fucking
actually
4.
is.
It's like a 4 out of 10. No, it's like a 3 out of 10.
Like when we have to lean on him. No, dude, I asked David this too. If I stab myself,
Hold on. Carl's
Hold on.
rebuttal to my direct question of if Caleb goes for his Caleb game stats of 250, a touchdown and a pick, and loses a game, his
I didn't complete
response
the
is-
thought either.
no, his response is, well, the Jets just beat him.
That's
The
fine.
worst team,
Right.
Carl,
the first
So,
overall
your
pick team in the
team-
league. The first
Carl
overall pick
has a chance
team in
to
the
explain
league
his thought.
is
I already
well, they just
predicted the
beat
Bears
them,
to
so
lose
it's
to
okay
Cincinnati.
To lose.
I already predicted the Bears to lose to Cincinnati.
why is that
Obviously with
okay?
Joe Burrow. Right?
Why is that okay?
You just lost to the Jets at home, and you're going to follow that up by having another shit performance? Whatever the fuck they put out against the Jets, you're going to get a lot better of a performance, in my opinion. Is
Why
it acceptable?
Is that okay?
I'm not saying that it is, but for you to just say, yep, Caleb. I just think it's asinine. I think it's ran its course. It's just getting a little old.
So are 200-yard, 1 touchdown, 1 interception games. You're 25 games in.
But this
Stop
is what we're
Then
saying.
why hasn't the head coach done anything to adjust?
No, this is what we're saying though. Carl,
Which
because
one?
It's like
He's done
Carl.
this forever.
Carl. This is
Are you
what we're
talking about
saying.
Matty
You're saying,
Eberflus or Ben Johnson?
David, you're back the last 2 weeks, just screaming right back at Carl. This is what we're saying. If the running game stops and the turnovers stop, you're saying that's why Caleb did bad. We're saying, well, then Tyson Bagent can do bad in that situation too. Then why do you draft Caleb number
So-
1 overall? Why do you get all these pieces for that to happen and it doesn't happen, and you blame the things that are outside of that? Like you built this
If they
team-
win, if
To
they
run-
7
win in
games
the
into
same
this
fashion-
experiment.
No, because your point is if they win in the same fashion, right? Your point, I'm going to say this. I will put the words in your mouth. Your point is if the run game goes well, if they turn the ball over, and Caleb throws for 200 yards, a touchdown and a pick, it's all part of the process, man. He's doing great. He's progressing. It's all good, man. Everything's good because they won. But if they lose and he throws for 200 yards and a touchdown and a pick, it's everyone else's fault, man. It's everyone else's fault because the defense didn't step up and the running game didn't step up and the GM did a poor roster construction, man. That's your entire argument. It's the entire argument of everyone. Because if it wins and he does the same shit, he's progressing, guys. It's all part of the plan. But if they lose and he's average as fuck, it's everyone else's fault, guys. Why isn't the quarterback individually held accountable in your mind? It makes no sense to me.
The problem is that the accountability that you're requiring and demanding is piggybacking off of the fact that you have a rookie head coach with a second-year quarterback who is in a terrible situation, and now all of a sudden, 7 games in to this experiment, you're just, all Caleb. It's like, what the fuck? No, give him a chance to take the lumps.
Same scenario. I gave you exactly, individually, the quarterback individually performs the same. The rest of the team does well, and you are in favor of the quarterback.
Did the rest of the team do well in Baltimore?
I'm giving you this hypothetical. If Caleb comes out in the Bengals game, and the rest of the team does well,
what is there to argue?
But why? Because 10 weeks ago you said this was a bottom 5 offense.
I would wager
a bottom 5 running game and a bottom 5 defense. They play above expectation, and Caleb is doing great.
I would wager that. I would wager that if DeAndre Swift
and you give no credit, you have given no credit, 0 to the rest of the team, and you have only blamed them for when Caleb was bad. You have never, not once in an hour and 16 minutes, given any credit to the rest of the team for dragging Caleb's mediocre corpse across finish lines for 4 straight weeks.
There's nothing mediocre about Caleb Williams. Just call a spade a spade. So if DeAndre Swift runs for 6 yards per carry, if Kyle Monangai, for Mr. Irrelevant draft status, gives you the production that you saw, I don't know, against the Redskins, if your defense gives you 2 turnovers, at that point, it doesn't matter what Caleb does. You'll win the football game. And if I'm wrong on that, then sure, blame me. That's fine. But I'm just saying, the team does play well around him. So it's a team thing. So for you to immediately just say, yep, Caleb Williams not giving us 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't care. You can not play well as a quarterback and win games. You could play very well and lose games.
Nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that. I told you that either way, win or loss, you're putting words in my mouth completely the opposite. You made up numbers in your head and you put them in my mouth and said I'm a Caleb hater. I said regardless of whether the fucking rest of the team does well or the rest of the team does poorly, 220 and 1 touchdown and 1 pick is unacceptable at this point.
How can the rest of the team be irrelevant or regardless?
Because part of it is on the leader of the fucking team,
Ben Johnson.
Because it's not like he's pegging him in the hands here, Carl. It's not like it's obviously everybody.
In the case of Roma Dunze, he is pegging them in the hands and he's dropping the contested catch. Absolutely, it is.
In your head, 220, a touchdown and a pick in a win is Caleb leading the team.
Never said that.
220, yes, you are. You literally just said that. You 220 and 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and him losing the game is the rest of the team doing shittily. Why is all of those things dependent on the rest of the team, but none of it?
I had to look up the box score. I told you my feelings on the game, right? I didn't think that the quarterback played well in Baltimore. But more than one thing can be true. It's not what is the term? Mutually exclusive? Inclusive? I don't even know how to use that terminology.
What game did he play well in?
The Cowboys game.
You notice how he said game? Did the running game do well? Not games?
Did the running game do well that game?
Right, yeah. The quarterback has not knocked your socks off all year. No. That's correct. That is fact.
We had the same argument after the Cowboys game. What did the running game do that game against the Cowboys, Carl?
The Cowboys ran it a lot better than the Bears.
I'm asking a question. What did the running game for the Bears do against the Cowboys?
Not as much as it did against the Redskins or the other game he just won.
They had 56 yards. So the quarterback in your mind can do well when the running game doesn't do well. But
it's not
if the
mutually
running game-
exclusive.
of course it's not. That's my whole fucking point.
Carl,
But you're
first drive.
saying it's not.
First drive, 3rd and goal. Colson Loveland, false start. Caleb Williams takes the snap, gets sacked. What part of the running game failed that first drive?
Oh, that's completely on the quarterback. The quarterback didn't execute in the red zone, and I told you that was one of my issues with this game in Baltimore.
Quarterback execution in general is the issue that we're talking about. Like, despite whether it's like we could separate the two. The problem is like, okay, in Dallas, the defense fed you turnovers. You actually scored off those turnovers, but not against the Raiders. Like there's no reason you should have 3 turnovers and a half and be down at the half. And like so same thing here. It's like we outscored them in yardage, 125-8 in the first quarter. Yet we were only up 6-0.
Right, and that is a massive indictment on just a quarterback. Not just a quarterback, I'm sorry. You should have probably ran the ball. You know, you were having success the last 2 weeks building an identity. Why did we stray away from that? Okay, you put it on the hands of the quarterback, that's fine. The quarterback did not execute. That's bullshit. He should have.
Shorty, you're actively insulting me the entire time without making a single point. What are you talking about?
Can I interject one last time?
No, because you're
I want to give Dave his flowers because I think he has cracked the code. I think that it is obvious that Caleb Williams is not exceedingly good or exceedingly bad, and that in itself is the problem, right? He's in the middle. No one wants to be in the middle. No one wants to be Kyler Murray. I get that. The problem here is the time frame, because Caleb Williams, again, what are we, 7, 8 games into this experiment? Obviously, he had all of last year. I am of the camp that should be thrown out. Now,
It's not.
the issue is that you guys want to win football games now, even though we've predicted that we're not going to win football games. So what's the problem here?
No, not at all. Because what you're saying is that when the quarterback does well, it's a completely independent stat in favor of the quarterback.
Never said that.
Yes, you did, because I just
I can
contradicted you
answer that,
completely. Because when I said the Cowboys game, the defense played mediocre and the running game was non-existent, your answer was, well, Caleb threw for 298 and 4 touchdowns.
We're learning
It's no credit
that
to anyone else. It's all
the
Caleb.
Dennis Allen defense is essentially just a
all
turnover machine,
Caleb.
right? If
No,
you're not turning the
no.
ball over, you're not
Stop
doing well.
moving the goalpost.
You
I'm
gave up a
answering
lot of
you
yardage
directly.
against Dallas, but you
I'm
got your
answering
turnovers.
you directly is that when I presented to you the Cowboy game, you said it's all Caleb. You threw it in my face like, well, oh, he hasn't had a good performance. Yeah, he did have one good performance when the running game was non-existent and the actual fucking defense was mediocre. So yes, a quarterback can succeed independently from the rest of his team, which was your point. And when I'm asking
Well,
for
Paul, bring up the
rest
list.
of the season, when I'm bringing it up the rest of the season,
Look
your
at how
point-
hard it is to win
your
independent
point-
of everything.
Your point.
There's not a lot
was
of good
that
quarterbacks
the
on that
last
list.
2 games when they won, it has nothing to do with with the rest of the team. Is that they performed well, so that's what allowed Caleb to do well. It allowed him, like he's just dependent completely. He's this poor innocent baby, and when the running game doesn't do well and the defense doesn't give you 4 turnovers a game, it's not his fault. He has nothing to do with it. But when he does throw 4 touchdowns, it's all him. So which is it? What I'm telling you is that there are independent stats for a quarterback. And part of that is that you can have a shootout while
Didn't
your
draft the wrong
defense
tight
does
end at 10.
poorly. When you can have a shootout and your defense can play poorly and your running game can underperform and your quarterback can step the fuck up and have a great game and win a game. And that can happen because you know why? It happens every fucking week in the NFL. It never happens in Chicago because Caleb hasn't stepped up to that level in the last 2 years. Not once, but it can happen. But what you're saying is it can't happen unless the rest of the team performs well. And that will allow him to perform well. What are you talking about? Let him
I would like
have
to know
individual stats. Because I said to you, in a win or a loss, 200, 1 touchdown and 1 pick is unacceptable. It's the same shit I've seen for 28 games.
No, and
It's
I'll
the
disagree.
same thing.
I'll disagree because it's like Jalen Hurts had a worse statistical year last year. What matters is if you're gonna go down that route, right? Like if you're gonna go down the Eagles route, the San Francisco 49ers route, and like try and build this super team where you could just plug just about anybody in there. Well, okay, at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is a 2nd-round draft pick and Brock Purdy's a 7th-round draft pick, right? And so like that team is set up in that fashion. But like if you're gonna win games in that fashion, then those moments are what count. Like Jalen Hurts may not have as good as stats, but like those touchdowns came when they needed the touchdowns, and like this isn't like Kirk Cousins garbage time stats, right? So like that is so fucking hard to do in this league. To build an entire roster.
This comment.
People
this comment.
Don't. No, one last thing, David. People don't understand. This is the most impactful position in all sports. David, what you're saying is completely true. Quarterbacks can win despite things failing around them all the time. The best ones do it all the time. Running back goes down for Patrick Mahomes. Pacheco, 7th-round pick, get in there, boom, starter. Like, dude, get things done in this league.
This
If you're a
comment is a
quarterback-
microcosm of people not listening. I love Bajan as much as you, but then but threat was because he was better than Justin. There's no way he's better than Caleb. Never fucking said he was better. The entire point is that I'm telling you, Caleb has ultimate talent and isn't playing up to it.
Yeah.
That he needs to
Caleb is-
comprehend.
Shorty isn't
Right,
talking to
Baker.
Dave there. This comment is not directed to Dave whatsoever. It's about this Bajent clown in the chat.
Okay,
Sorry to give
apologies.
audio and air to
Apologies.
that.
No, I don't want to disrespect Shorty either. So thank you for commenting. But like, that's the point, is that they can be independent. So let's say you fucking throw Bajent in there and he throws for 220 and a touchdown and an interception and a loss. Carl will
then-
turn around and say that, why the fuck didn't you start Caleb? Well, guess what? If Caleb did the same shit, it'd be like, well, it's just part of the process, guys. It's just part of the process, guys. Everybody relax a little bit and give him some time.
All I can say is that Baker Mayfield clearly wasn't good enough for Cleveland to earn whatever the hell graphic Paul has spun up,
He's
right?
on
Your
his
5th-year
14th
option.
4th team, by the
Right,
way.
right. And he ping-ponged around the league, sure, and he figured it out. All I'm saying is it would be... I don't know how to even say.
What do you
It
want?
would
Baker
not be
Mayfield?
wise to quickly move on in the pursuit of short-term success. So this
Carl.
200-yard, 1 touchdown, 1 interception shit, I don't care.
No, Carl,
Just
but
write it
there's
out.
A problem. There's a problem with that. For how long it took Baker to figure it out, it wouldn't have happened in Cleveland, because there comes a point where you have to pay him. Him bouncing around never became like the
Guys.
he never became the guy that like financially eats
90
the roster
minutes.
until he proved it. Yeah, no, I'm
Guys.
ready to go too, but it's like
No,
but
no,
that's
no,
the
no,
problem.
no.
That's
90
the problem,
minutes
it's like-
talking about the quarterback in Chicago. We literally grafted on a tumor onto our roster today. We haven't said a word on it. Are we going to move on from that? Or maybe I was not sure of the title. I thought we were
DJ
talking about the
Gardner
Bears.
Johnson isn't about to fucking do shit.
The title is
The-
about the Caleb Williams.
Dude,
Right. Maybe I
future
didn't understand the plot of the
this
show then.
Entire fucking 3-year plan that we've been waiting to unravel rides on the shoulders of the quarterback who's had a very linear season. And we're very concerned about it. Everybody's just telling us wait, and wait for what? It to just stay. Like, at what point you expect this thing to just like Shorty said it. Oh, results don't come overnight. We know that. That's why there's supposed to be stepping stones and progress and this and that. And like the moments are failed. The opportunities, like, dude, we lost to the backup of a 1-5 fucking football team.
Who has gone to the Pro Bowl And that team
Here
is
we go.
littered
Here
with
we
Pro
go.
Bowl and
Here
All
we
Pro
go.
talent.
Here we go. Yep.
I'm just saying.
Fuck
I'm just
off.
saying.
You know,
Mitch
it looks like
Trubisky's been
if
more
they have
Pro Bowl.
Lamar.
Fuck off.
It's worse. It's a lot worse of a result. And we all, literally, the chat prediction that we did months ago before the season started, where the chat predicted us going 15-2, those 2 losses were unequivocally the Ravens and the Eagles. So this was
Also,
a game that you were
Shorty-
destined to lose from the beginning.
Honestly, dude, like when you go this childish, fuck off, dude. Like, hey, Dave, why don't you go play? Because I didn't do it my whole fucking life and become a first overall pick. What are you, 7?
Yeah. I mean,
What are
we
you,
can have
7
opinions.
years old? What kind of argument is this? The fuck are you talking about, dude? Don't
At
get
the end of
don't
the
get
day-
petty and personal and childish when I'm
the
giving
end
you
of the
actual
day, too.
logical points and you go, why don't you go do it? That's why we watch sports, jackass. I can watch for fucking 30 years of football. I'm not going to become
All
a
right.
head coach. What the
All
fuck
right.
are you talking about?
Dude, but that's the thing. It's like it's beating around the bush. That's what it is, David, right? Like I said, the only excuse that's got any life in it left is we're impatient now. We're impatient. But you literally called this out last week, David. And even I was like, okay, no, I see what you're saying, but this is the opportunity. I think he will take advantage of the opportunity. What I saw is him fail a lot worse than I thought he would even fail at a great opportunity. Concern level rising, confidence dropping, right? Like, this isn't going in the right direction. Whether you guys want to wait or not wait or whatever, where it stands right now is not very good. This should have been a lot better. And if it doesn't get better, if what we've seen continues, right? Because we've seen it, it's happening. It's been happening. If this doesn't get drastically better from the quarterback position, then I'm telling you, this team can win in this league. There's enough talent here. There's a lot of things have been addressed and changed and everything. I want a guy that could at least run the fucking game plan to an efficient standard. And not have to sit here talking about fucking completion while we're like percentage while we're fucking throwing failing on third down,
This
throwing
is why I said I
fucking-
want to.
Can we pivot from the quarterback? I wanted to dial in onto what
Yeah, go
Paul
ahead.
said about the talent surrounding this football team, or surrounding the quarterback on this football team, right? Where is that talent? Because I can promise you, it's not on the defensive line. While these linebackers were overperforming, they're not go out and win football games for you like Fred Warner or Roquan Smith. The secondary, which I am very bullish on, these second line guys, I told you that Nashawn Wright was just propaganda to start the season. So this defense is boiled down to, okay, we're going to get turnovers. We're going to be aggressive. Our front four, our very highly paid defensive end tandem cannot generate a lick of pressure if Caleb Williams' life depended on it. Okay, let's bring 5. Let's bring 6. If that gets thwarted and you do not get your turnovers, you're right. It does have to turn to a shootout. Why are we not talking about Roma Dunze? Guy, what's his calling card? Catches the ball.
I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna give my final game prediction. This is just stupid. I can't.
The talent, I think, could be a little bit more overblown because nothing is proven.
This might be my last show ever.
We're talking about a
Yeah,
Montez
all right.
Sweat that was moved on from.
I'll see you
I'm
next
done.
week, David.
Yeah, I'm done.
Alright.
27-23 loss. This is fucking stupid. Why complain? Because we want a fucking winning football team. I can't fucking do this
Yeah,
anymore.
right.
People are
No,
just
no,
too
no,
stupid.
right. I want my record to
I
be
can't.
correct. Not.
Yeah, why am I complaining when I want a fucking team
Like,
that I like?
So,
to
so
do
you
well?
think I want them to go 6-10, or am I just using logic and reason to get to that point? Which is,
And you
which
get to just be
results.
optimistically positive. And
And we're
anytime
wrong.
you're
And we're
wrong,
wrong.
you,
We're
and,
wrong.
and you get to just say like, well, I wanted them to win, so I'm a good guy. So because I
Yeah,
wanted them to
no.
win, I was just being positive.
No, we were being nice last week, David. We were being nice
Like,
last week.
I'm just being
This week,
positive.
it is.
So you're
obvious
being
what's going
mean
on.
because you're just negative and complaining.
It's hilarious, with
When I'm right
like,
again, everybody's gonna
I-
be like, "Oh, what an asshole!"
in my conversation with Shorty, when I called him, my first 2 sentences were, number one, let's both agree on this. There's no reason why we should have lost to the Ravens. Right? Like coming into that game, there's no reason. Number 2, I said we lost because of, and he couldn't say it. Just like Carl, dude, we lost because of Caleb Williams.
Not because
That is a
Caleb
fucking
Williams
winnable game, Carl.
Caleb
The way the
Williams
rest of the team played, that's a
contributed.
winnable game.
Caleb Williams contributed to the loss. There is no doubt about it.
And I expect the most from him because he's a fucking first overall pick. Like, come on now. What are we talking about here?
Right. That's when your expectations are being met with kind of the reality of the situation. And again, I'm not going to repeat myself with the quarterback being young, head coach, all these things, right? Again, that's why I was suggesting we pivot off of that point because
Fuck
I
you
think
too, Shorty, and love you too. Mutual.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Shorty will hopefully hear me when I say this because he's not having the opportunity to talk over me on his show. How can you say you were unacceptable, Dave? Goodbye. What are we doing here, Shorty? Just calm down, bro.
Come on now, right.
Here's the reality of the situation, and again, here's some flowers, Dave. The reality of the
Acceptable,
situation.
real.
There's really good, there's really bad, and Caleb Williams is right where my non-Jewish nose is, right fucking in the middle. Okay?
And
So
where
that
should
is
he be?
that is the reality of the situation. And again,
where should
I
he be?
like Caleb Williams. Dave and Paul are more critical of Caleb Williams. That's fine.
I
The
like
truth
Caleb
always
Williams.
lies in between.
What people want to hear is me go, you know what I think's going to happen against the Bengals? Caleb's going to come out and throw for 350 fucking yards and 3 touchdowns, guys, because Bears, end of show, 10-minute show. That's what people want. What
Bears.
the fuck? Then don't fucking
Yeah.
watch football. Just predict 12 season wins every year and just ignore everything. Like, what the fuck are you doing? If you don't watch football, you don't have eyes.
Here, let's
You don't get to watch 40 years of football and be this ignorant of football.
let's walk away. Okay.
Yes.
No,
Let's
Caleb
walk away.
Williams.
Good
No.
night, everybody.
I
think
legitimate. If you
I
guys
think
gotta
we're coming
go,
to
but
the end. Okay,
42
Dave,
to
you gotta
14.
go? Yeah.
Bears.
no, I legitimately wanted to know
That's
your
what
guys'
everybody
opinion on
wants to hear.
CJ Gardner
42 to
Johnson.
14.
9 touchdowns.
9, at least. Minimum.
9.
Yeah, do it, Paul. 9.
9 touchdowns.
Minimum.
Caleb.
Guys.
Yeah.
It'll be because the running game
Guys.
works.
Hold on. No.
No.
Yeah.
Can I get 5 minutes? Can I get 5
500
minutes?
yards.
Can I get 5 minutes of non-Caleb Williams Bears talk?
No.
Okay.
That's
It's
what
your
everything
guys'
is.
show.
Go-
Okay.
go for it.
I asked a question. You said no. Okay.
It's 8:30. What are we doing?
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.
5 minutes.
No, official predictions.
I'll give Carl
27-23
5
loss.
minutes. Dave, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah,
I'll
27-23 loss. Fuck
Dude,
this.
I fucking want to win so bad, like I wanted to win last week, but no, my mind's telling me it's the same thing, David. It's like 24-21, and we lose or some shit.
Carl the clown. This guy sat on his desk in silence for 100 minutes, right? A 60-minute hour plus 40 minutes is 100 minutes from a man whose account name is Bajent plus Ben equals Dynasty. You're sitting cross-legged. You're sitting Indian style, bouncing up and down. Yes, sir. Thank you. What is your fucking problem? You're a joke.
Got an opinion just like everybody else, and like we welcome all the opinions.
Yeah, but opinions are like
Plot twist.
opinions are like assholes, and
Yeah.
his asshole is unwiped and reeks like shit.
But you know what? It might be.
Plot twist. It's
at the end of the
Gordy's
day.
alt account.
It is. It's Shorty. It is. I know it.
It's Shorty's alt account.
pull up the video that I texted you guys and play that as the
Oh,
outro, please.
Shorty.
Have a good
Shorty,
night,
I
guys.
fucking dude, you're such a nice guy. Like, love you, man. Like, nuts.
Can you guys imagine if you guys
Thank
got
you
into a
guys
fist fight
for
at
tuning
Johnny's Beef, and then you're like aggressively fighting, like I'm gonna pay for your Johnny's Beef, like I'm gonna buy you beef.
Good night, everybody.
Good protection. Lines it up for DJ Moore to the end zone. Touchdown! Take the shotgun snap. Late pressure fired. Ball carries him.